let's move over to Durky O. Durk, Durk, Durk. Durk wants his case dismissed, man. I've been bragging on Durk. I have been saying Durk has been staying out of trouble, but let's talk about some recent news on him. 1 second. Let me get my little thing pulled up for little old Durkio. He's involved with this situation with the young boy down here in the South, Quando Rondo. Durk, man, I don't know. I don't know, but let's take a look. Lil Durk, he's facing his own federal charges of his own. His legal team just recently filed motions to get his case dismissed. Right now, he's facing charges for being the head honcho and calling out plays to get his rival rapper, Quando Rondo, sent to the Lord. Okay, he was trying to take Quando Rondo out of the game. All right. The trial, which was already delayed, it was supposed to start this month, is now set for January of 2026. And Dirk, he's been locked up in the LA jail without bail since October of wow. Has it been that long? It's been a year. Dang, man, time is flying. It seems like Dirk just got locked up like 6 months ago. He's been there for almost a year. So the trial date got moved from October to January 2026, partly because one of his co defendants needed more time to prepare for the case. The judge labeled it a very complex case since there's around 20,000 pages, 20,000 pages of reports, and over 230 gigabytes of digital evidence. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot of discovery that people have to go through. My God. 230 gigabytes. Durkio, what was you doing, boy? What was you doing? But look, I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret here. Let me tell y'all a secret. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my phone. I think Dirk can beat this case. I personally, just based off of what I'm hearing and seeing, Dirk can beat this case. You know why Dirk can beat this case? They're not gonna get Quando Rondo to testify. Dirk, his lawyers are gonna put a lot of reasonable doubt because unless the feds are coming with something concrete, unless they got like Dirk on a phone line saying, "Hey man, go handle that." It's gonna be a lot of he said, she said, even if there's snitches that flip on him and tell him what's going on. Dirk Dirk got a better chance of beating this case than I thought. A year ago, I was like, "Oh man, he cooked. He cooked." But Dirk, he might got a little chance here. Dirk's lawyers are arguing that the indictment is very vague, basically saying the feds haven't given enough details for them to properly defend him. They claim the government's theory keeps changing and is relying on witnesses whose stories have morphed over time. A hearing on that motion is scheduled for November 18th, and that's going to be a very big moment in this case. Now, me personally, I don't think the judge is going to throw this case out. It's too much stuff here that's kind of linking Dirk to be involved with all of this. There's a lot of stuff linking Dirk, but there's also not hard concrete evidence. So that's why I think that the judge is going to keep it on. It's going to let him go to trial. But I do think Dirk can beat this. Now, prosecutors, they ain't backing down either. Back in August, they asked the court for an anonymous jury after jail officials allegedly caught Dirk with the Apple Watch and then he tried to destroy the watch. So they think that Dirk is essentially using this Apple Watch to intimidate victims. Well, not necessarily victims, but to intimidate witnesses, to try to get people not to switch on him. For a little background, Dirk, he was arrested on federal murder for hire charges tied to the shooting in LA that targeted the little young boy Quando Rondo. Rondo wasn't hit, but his cousin Lil Paul, yeah, Lil Paul was unalive. Sad, 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 sad. Prosecutors are saying that the hit was a retaliation for the 2020 killing of Dirk's close friend King Von. So this is pretty much the case on Lil Durk. 5 members of his OTF crew was indicted, and then a superseding indictment came late 2024, adding even more charges to Dirk, including conspiracy, firearm charges, and a lot more. Not to mention, earlier this year, Lil Pob's mother. Let me see if I can find a picture of Lil Pob so we can see what he looks like. Hold on here. Hold on, y'all. This is actually kind of sad because you had Quando Rondo and Lil Pob. They was pretty much just over in LA chilling, and allegedly Dirk and his people tried to hit Quando Rondo, but they hit Lil Pob instead, and took him out. So man, it's actually unfortunate that we're in this kind of cycle of violence. I'm trying to find picture of Lil Pop. Why can't I find one? I wanna see what he looks like. Man, for some reason, I can't find a picture of Lil Pop. I wanted to see what he looks like. But long story short, what's going on is earlier this year, I think it was around January or February, Lil Pop's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Durk, his label, and his manager. So Durk is fighting on the criminal front. He's also fighting on the civil fronts as well. Of course, Durk has pled not guilty across the board completely. Durk is saying, I ain't got nothing to do with this. And prosecutors have said that they're not seeking the death penalty, which is good because at first Durk was facing life in prison and possibly the death penalty. Prosecutors are saying we're going to take that off the table. We don't want to fry him, but he still could face life in prison. Do y'all think this Fed case is going to get Durk yoked up? I think he got a chance of beating it. All right. I think he got a chance of beating it. And you know why I think he has a chance? Because we just went through this with um why am I drawing a blank on old boy from Tennessee? Uh, t- 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 Young Dolph. We just went through this with Young Dolph. So Young Dolph, um, there was a trial recently with one of the dudes who allegedly set up the murdering of Dolph. That dude beat that case. So after he beat that case, I'm like, hey man, Dirk might got a chance. Dirk might got a chance.